Welcome back to the channel, guys. In today's video, we're going to be installing a window in this opening behind me. This is a newly constructed house, so we're going to be using new construction windows. And the difference between new construction windows and replacement windows is the new construction windows have a nailing flange around the side of them, so it's kind of a built-in J-channel. And replacement windows, you put screws into the sides of the windows and they do not have a nailing flange on the outside. So, all right, the product we're going to be using is by DuPont, and it's a flashing that's kind of a rubberized, super sticky, flexible flashing. It's 4-inch, and it's definitely heavy built. So what you want to do, we want to make sure we get a long enough piece to go up the side of the window opening and enough to cover over the lip here, and it's going to fold over the edge. So we're just going to dry fit it here. All right, so looks like right in this region looks good. So this stuff's really easy to cut. Like I said, it's kind of like cutting rubber. So all right, so here's our piece of flashing, and this stuff is very, very sticky, like I said, and it just peels off like tape. So we'll go ahead and get it started, and we stick it up the sides. All right, just kind of want to fold it into that crease, make sure it's nice and tight. And some people don't do this, but again, you definitely should. Now, I agree when that people say, oh, I don't do it because I installed the siding and the siding keeps all the weather out, which is true if you install the siding correctly. But some people do not install their siding correctly, or the subcontractors don't do it correctly. So, whoa, it's a little slick right there. All right, so you just want to get it folded in there nice and tight. And just make sure you fold it over the edge here. Stuff is very, very sticky. All right, so something like that. It doesn't have to be perfect, but now, as you can see, we have a little bit of wood exposed right here, so we need to get another piece to follow that same pattern. So again, we're going to dry fit it, get our length. And this stuff is pretty cool. People use it for flashing other things. If you drive a nail through it, it's very sticky tar. So it will seal the nail if you nail into it, but you still want to make sure you don't put a nail somewhere that could cause a leak. This stuff is sticky icky. All right, now you want to press it down, make sure it gets a nice seal. The next thing we want to do is we need to cut this top piece of house wrap. In by code, you need this on every house. But what you want to do is just cut a nice little slit right here. It doesn't have to be a huge cut, just about a couple inches, enough to be able to lift it up. And you want to get on this side, do the same thing. All right, and now that that's cut, we want to take a piece of tape and just keep that lifted up so it's not in the way when we go to set the window in the opening. All right, so now all we need is the window, and we can get started setting it. And the tools you'll need is a level, because we're going to need to level this up, and a hammer and some roofing nails. So get those in hand. And I'm going to show you a trick to nailing these windows off quick that some people may not know. All right, Gerald's going to hand me this window. All right, ready? Come on, bring it on.
No, you got to keep on it. All right.
Right, so I'm going to go ahead and sit this in the opening. Okay. Then go ahead and center it in between the openings so we have equal amount. So he's going to go ahead and try to get it center in the opening while center good. Now I'm going to take the level And we're going to make sure you got it in there? So he's holding the window from the inside. We're going to make sure we're sitting level. All right, so I noticed this side needs to come up. So I'm going to go ahead and tack a nail on this bottom side. So you more or less go ahead and just level up your window starting at the bottom. All right, so we're going to tack a nail down here. All right, and now I'm going to have him lift up in the inside while I get this thing set nice and level. All right, go on up. A little more. All right, hold it right there. All right. So you always start at the bottom, leveling it up. All right, so now that we know it's setting level on the bottom, now we need to plumb the size of the window up. And that side doesn't look too badly, just make sure this side's good. All right, it looks like it could tilt that way a little bit. All right, that's good. All right, hold it right there. And you'll notice about these windows is they could be a little bowed. So holding the level on one side and the other, you gotta check both sides. So, all right, now we're gonna go ahead and tack a nail here. And we're going to push this house wrap in between that nailing flange here in a minute.
Be extra careful while you're nailing not to hit the window.
All right, go ahead and try it. Now he's going to try the window. Now that it's setting where it's going to be setting, make sure the window operates easy. Because if it's on a bind, it's not going to open and shut easy. How's it open and shut? Good. All right. So now the window's setting where we need it. It's setting square, it's setting plumb. Now the next thing I got to do is simply just nail off around the edges here. And then we're going to get that house wrap flipped down over the nailing flange. And on this side, we're going to make sure that house wrap is tucked on the inside of that nailing flange or behind the nailing flange. All right, so we're going to get this house wrap behind this window. And that's something that could have been caught while setting the window in there, but that's all right. It's not too hard to get it behind it. Just go ahead and tuck it in behind. And all this does is this keeps it weatherproof until you get your siding on this house wrap. Oh yeah, these windows are sealed with argon gas. Most of them nowadays are. So they're the most energy efficient way of getting a window. So these are MI windows. They're really good windows for the price. For the whole house is only less than $6,000, I think. When it comes to nailing off these windows, you don't, in my case, depending on the manufacturer's recommendation, always read their recommendation, but only nail every other one of these holes here. So you don't have to nail every one in this case, but you definitely want to make sure it doesn't void the warranty if you don't. So I just use a nail gun to nail this off fast. This is just a simple roofing nailer. Just make sure it's in line with that hole. Boom. So very easy. And now we're going to use a roofing nail, and I'm going to show you how to nail it using your hammer. So you go and get your nail started. And now when you hammer, you don't want to hammer towards the window. You want to hammer kind of away from the window so you don't hit the side and crack it. So again, just every other one is fine. So I'm going to go ahead and nail this baby off using my coil nailer because it's way quicker. All right, so now before you nail this top part, what I like to do, go ahead and fold your house wrap down. And then I'll put a nail into the house wrap right where it's going over the window. And now we're going to get the ladder on this side and finish nailing this off. Then we're going to tape around the window. All right, so now we got tape around the window. The product I use is this just regular Tyvek tape. This is typically used to tape the seams of the Tyvek or house wrap, but I like to use it just to seal around the windows. So all you gotta do is just take your tape and simply right where the nailing flange is, you just gotta overlap that onto the house wrap. So you just always start at the bottom, and then, so that way it seals it from the wind mainly, but it also keeps any moisture from coming in too. So, all right, so that's taped. And now we go ahead and tape the sides next. And like I said, you go in that order because of the way water falls. And make sure you rub this tape in to make sure it seals really well. Because we do not want any drafty house. Don't want no barn, he said. Nope, that's why we build these houses, to keep air and weather out. So everything you can do to do that is good. All right, I'm going to show you this thing up close after it's all done from the outside. So if you look, we just got our tape and our nails. That's really all there is to it, nothing fancy. Then as you can see, we started the tape down here, ran it across, then we went up the sides, and then we taped along the top last, that way it's nice and sealed. And that's really all there is to installing a newly constructed window. And if you're new to this channel, my name's Josh. This channel is all about building your own house, saving a ton of money. So be sure to subscribe and smash that like button for me if you don't mind. And now, the inside of the house, after you hang the drywall, you got to trim out with fancy trim and all this, but that's going to be another video. So be sure to subscribe and keep your eyes open for that video. All right, guys, I got a bunch of stuff I need to get done yet. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.